It's a murder and was so danish. Ship to one way around distance. If there is Kazasia, and this Kadame, why? Then I always say, may see wrong with never way. Then I get stars to I mean, the sky, my children. Anyway, okay, I'm in there. I'm not for away to the until we just go to this some changes somehow. Wait for this.
The Watertown Treaty stands for more than just an historical agreement. It symbolizes the spirit of cooperation, mutual respect, and nation-to-nation diplomacy that has defined our interactions for centuries. As we celebrate this anniversary, we continue to acknowledge the importance of this treaty in shaping our relations with the United States and the relevance of our current affairs, particularly in the realm of trade. The treaty particularly sets a historical precedent as it's the first international treaty that the United States signed, not only for the first time, but with the nation of Mi'kmaq. As Mi'kmaq citizens, we understand the significance of nation-to-nation trade agreements and the benefits they bring to our communities. The ability to cross borders and engage in trade with the United States is vital to our economic success, but by building on the foundation laid by the Watertown Treaty, we can continue to strengthen our trade relationships and foster economic growth together. And because of the Mi'kmaq Nation and the relationships that it has with General George Washington in that time, we shared the same concerns at that time. And we worked together and grew as allies to accomplish what the United States is now. Because of that 1776 treaty, it was two nations recognizing one another.
We have come over the years in coming up here in celebration of it. And so it's very relevant to us back home. And so, because we look on that treaty as very important to us, and the fact that the president at the time was George Washington, he had summoned the Mi'kmaq and Maliseets past and in their struggles, okay? And so we were willing to come up and join the cause.
When we helped the war against the British, our people helped North America, and they're able to come have independence from their what's now known today is United States, and with these treaties, there's two I know of, Watertown, and then Year Treaty. These treaties are still what we're trying to have people know.
There's a thing or an element that we seem to forget, that the Treaty of 1776 as a compact with the United States of America and the Mi'kmaq people is unique and sets a brand new standard in relationships, be they economic relationships or diplomatic relationships. They were founded on some principles when George Washington asked for the Mi'kmaq people or the Passamaquoddy and Maliseet to join in with the United States of America colonial government or colonial army to fight the oppression and tyranny. They were based on three fundamental principles which became fundamental to the United States of America as well as the world around. The issue of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those three words embodied a whole sense of feeling in the heart and in the soul and in the mind, which became very instrumental in the people of the United States of America saying, hey, there are people who share those same beliefs: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And it's because of those words that some countries are very envious of the United States of America. Some support it and embrace it. Others do not. but those are important elements that the Mi'kmaq adopted very clearly, because who doesn't believe in life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness? So when the Mi'kmaq came to the United States, joined in with the colonial governments or colonial army, they are fighting or embracing that belief of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
It's still relevant too, because the fact that way back, don't forget, you know, the idea of being able to work. The opportunities back in Canada were not there for a lot of Native community members. But the fact that there was people who were able to travel through to the United States and found employment, which brought on and these people also went into high steel work. They went into different factories, and also they even served in the military. I know right now in our community we had about 7 Marines who had served in the various fights within, and so it was always relative, and people always knew that they had that opportunity to be able to go to the States and gain employment, and knew that, that they would be accepted.
We were told when I was brought up that we are North American citizens. And that means we can go anywhere in North America. But there's one kicker about it, is the Americans and Canadians, they have the guns and they can tell us where we can't go and when we can't go, but they can only delay us. And I was Indian Registry Administrator for the Confederacy of Mainland Micmac, and I told everybody that you're a citizen of North America. We don't have a U.S. citizenship, but we have every rights as a U.S. citizen. And if you're on a Canadian list, you have every right in Canada, but you're not a Canadian citizen. You're still a North American citizen.
You know, our treaties were meant for us to live in peace and friendship side by side, never to interfere with one another. That's why we have the ability to go to the United States, like Linwood said, and have those same benefits, not as an American citizen, but the ability to go walk side by side that government, and to have the same successful fruits and benefits that His Majesty's subjects has and the United States has as well. But it sets, everyone talks about setting precedent. We have to set precedent. Precedent was already set in 1752 and 1776 and all the other years the treaties were signed. Those were the days of precedent. Back then, there was no such word as reservation. There was no such word as Canada itself. So for them to continue to interpret for us is not for them to interpret. It is for our nation to interpret. It is for our grand counselors, for our matriarchal system and our clan mothers to join together to interpret that ability to become successful, to respect one another on that nation and in the nation of Canada as well.
But what I see with the United States, they've been good to us. I have my father working in the States, and quite a few of us went there without no questions asked to work and go home, and work and go home. It was always that peaceful too. To me, I feel that the United States has done a good thing for our people, because a lot of them were here, and they know that they were able to go and visit friends and families that they met in Massachusetts or whatever. They had a lot of friends. So, to me, I think the United States has done, good to us in other ways, But we have to understand that, we have other issues too.
I believe is that the treaty itself, a lot of when I say, I don't mean it to be racist or prejudiced. A lot of the outsiders don't understand it, and we are having that with us trying to deliver that. message to who we are and what we're here for. We're not here to hurt, we're here to help. And a lot of the surrounding areas don't understand it yet. If they get into the vein of the treaty, understanding what it means, the peace and friendship treaty is peace, like it says, and friendship, like it is. We're trying to make bridges. And a lot of times our bridges are always being with a crack in the hole somewhere. So we got to try to fulfill that peacefully, quietly. And our youth are the most important part of it. We got to keep educating them, carry this legacy, and move it on to where we are, who we are.
We are not educating the general public enough in regards to the importance of this treaty, which was signed next year would be 250 years. And therefore, I think there should be a real
Big celebration, right?
yes, celebration, but also that being put out there and bring those things out in regards to all the points of that treaty and the significance of what they endured back then to bring these groups together in the joint efforts of what Washington wanted.
And I think the other thing is that the American government should be more involved in these treaties and put it into the school systems instead of Jack and Jill went up the hill. It should be the Indians are trying to make peace. They're trying to make love with each other. The government's got a lot of responsibility on the government itself in the United States, and they don't seem to be pushing it. And the only way they're going to push it is talk to the First Nations people. Sit down at the round table, what we want to do, where we want to go, what we want to work out, how do we do things. It's never happened. It's never, in my time since I've been a captain here for the nations, we gotta communicate. Without communications, you don't have no action.
I also look at it that the Canadian government and the U.S. government, they should look at the way we treat our neighbors and treat Mother Nature, and that should be in the school system in Canada, in the United States, and because we have quite an area, and we all get along now. If the U.S. people and the Canadian people can keep some of their prejudice under their hat and work with not only us but their other people within their countries and in Canada as well, and if they just keep that that stuff back in the corner, and get educated and treat people right, that's all we're asking is as me as a Grand Council, that's what I'm looking for.
If it wasn't for the First Nations people of the Mi'kmaq, I don't think we were standing here talking. We came with open arms for peace and to help and show who we really are. And the government of the United States seems to me don't recognize that enough. They got to say
They
more.
don't want to acknowledge it. Yeah. Like it's being whitewashed or swept under the rug. They don't want to hear that.
And unfortunately, it's not only the United States government, it's also Canadian government.
He's our own government.
Yeah, and so that also should be, and we are trying that, and if they would just only hear us and listen to what we're trying to bring forward to them.
And if they were really saying that they are, where are they today? They should be sitting here with us, amongst us, and celebrating this today with us.
We need to find educators to come down here and do a day or two workshop in schools and put together an educational curriculum that shows the students and the teachers and teaches them about the Watertown Treaty and how the independence of America became. And that, like you said, only takes a day or two. And if we can gather some of our educators and utilize government grants on both sides of the border to be able to accomplish those goals, I think that could be something that we can definitely accomplish together. Like you said, we have to become united, no matter where we come from, Indigenous and non-Indigenous.
Education is very important. For history or in the past, we only got one side. It wasn't good. It was always painted that we were the way they perceive us in the media and the movies and stuff. And at school, it was always very derogatory how they teach our what we growing up with, how we were, we need both stories. We need people to read who we are as a nation and how we were before. What I mentioned earlier, I always believed that before arrival, we had everything what the Creator provided, and it's basically what paradise was, and it was all taken. And we, as a nation, we don't believe in all the beliefs from foreign powers. Like it's one of them was sharing, compassion, and these strong beliefs was in our language, and we wanted, but they took advantage of that. And then today we, like I said, we're not rich as a nation. We're pretty well in poverty. Poverty is what, and our people are just getting by what little they have.
And the other add on to what the Grand Chief said he said about education. And we were really like back home and probably here too, we got to educate more. And like you said, the movie actors, they always said, we're going to circle the wagons. That's insult to us. You know, that's not a way, or they usually says comics. We're always the ones getting killed. But the non-natives are running down the road laughing. So those things gotta change more in the school system.
Well,
And I think they owe the native people of the United States a big apology. With all these people that are saying who we are about in those books, it was hurtful, and our kids still see it about it, and it's still that cut is still there. It's not sealed yet, and they talked about reconciliation. What is reconciliation? A lot of people don't know what reconciliation is. They may put it in their own perspective, but what really is reconciliation? The United States got to get that word in their system somewhere. Healing, recovering, helping, sharing, and bring that book to their forefront and mean it from their heart. Just don't talk breath like a puppet. Bring it out and show them the truth that we are serious about doing business with First Nations people.
I grew up in Boston and in New England. And I remember going to school and kids used to ask me which parent was Asian or Chinese. And I said, none of them. My mom is Micmac. And they thought I was like, they called me a liar growing up. They called me Micmac, Paddywhack, and a bunch of other words that rhymed with that, weren't. Um, uh, it really brought me down as a kid, like you just said. I didn't want to learn. I didn't want to be in those schools. And, so in terms of the education, I feel like, especially in the New England area,
We have the strongest treaty, the Mi'kmaq people, the Micmacs, the strongest treaty in North America wide. We have a treaty with the king. Our treaties is not with the government of Canada or the United States. Our treaty is with the king. So a lot of people have to understand that. They don't, and we're trying to be humble and be friendly and kind and peaceful to deliver that message.
We have signed agreements, treaties with the Crown, allowing us to do what we were doing prior to arrival. And this was a powerful statement. And I use it today for the reason, hopefully by next year when we gather, we'll have a clear understanding about our treaties, and all of them. Because what the United Nations is saying, that we have rights, and they say have to recognize all our treaties. The treaties themselves were part of our belief system, and I call them sacred because it evolved around creation. We respect everything what the Creator provides. This wasn't part of a foreign power. They just, like I said, keep taking. And then we have chain of treaties in Canada. We have treaties here. United States, this one of them, Treaty from Watertown. This was the Peace and Friendship Treaty. And it was, how do you say it? A treaty of grateful. When we make a decision or commitment, we always make sure that the generations ahead are looked after. Meaning we have language where we say next 7 generation. And it's almost same as long as the sun sets and the moon rises and the river flows and it's in the same line. It's something that we were always believing that what the Creator provides, we have to look after it. And when we talk about our future, it's our children. Well, I hate to mention the event in here about how Canada treats our nation across Canada with the EU's total control. They attacked our language. And our language, everything was in our language, our laws, our customs, our beliefs, our prayers, our medicine. And when they attack our language, that's how they destroyed what our beliefs are. And we see it in our youth, in their eyes, that they don't really look at tomorrow because they're too worried about today, what's happening to them. And this is a shame, and I see that a lot as Grand Chief. Well, I want to make sure our future is protected. We believe that youths should always be on the forefront because that's our future. And we need to educate them our old ways and make sure they carry them on next 7 generations what we teach. And it's just too bad I have to use the colonialistic idealism where you only educate yourself to get what you could do, as much you could do. But I need the youth to be where our ancestors intended us to be. I want them to believe in that.
North America worldwide, because we're not going anywhere. We're loving, we're caring, and we're friendly, and we want to make bridges.
We have to become united, no matter where we come from, Indigenous and non-Indigenous. We are all treaty people.